Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit about how to solve simultaneous equations using Excel. So what we have up here is we have three simultaneous equations here, and you'll notice I've got the orange are your inputs. So you'll put your coefficients of each of the first variable there, which we're going to say A, and then your next variable, which is B. You just put your coefficients here. And then your next variable C, you put your coefficients here, and then your constant you put over here on the other side of the equation. And you know, you can change these, and you'll notice that, like when you do that, the solutions will update. And you can change your you can change the variables too, like if you want to call it, you know, TFF, whatever you want to call it, you know, it'll update to whatever it is that you want to call your variable. And then but basically the idea is that you take your simultaneous equations and you put them in this format, and then once you have them in the format, you know, where you have your first variable with its coefficient, second variable with its coefficient, third variable with its coefficient, constant on the other side. That's what I mean by format. You put your equations in that format, and then what you do, you just enter in the inputs here, and then the Excel sheet here is taking those inputs that you place there and putting it into matrix notation, which we say AX is equal to B. So here you see A, and this is just taking the coefficients of each of your variables and placing it into this matrix like this, and then your X in your matrix notation is over here, and that's just basically your variables. And again, you'll notice if I make this like, you know, ZZZ, you'll notice that's going to update right down here. Okay, and then your B in the matrix notation is right over here, where it's just taking the coefficients on the other side of the equation, and basically, you know, these right here, it's taking those and putting them right over here. Okay, and then we use this function right here. It's called MINVERSE. Okay, and then you enter that equation there, and then what you're going to want to do is you'll want to highlight all of this, and then you'll want to press Shift Control Enter if you're using Windows, to cause this to be an array formula that is entered here. All right, and then you can see that it's an array whenever you look at the little symbols right here on both sides, these bracket looking symbols here, which you don't have on a normal equation, on a normal Excel equation. And you'll notice as I flip through here, you know, that the formulas are not updating because it's an array formula, right? So if you're not familiar with array formulas, you may have to brush up on that or look at that a little bit. Okay, so what we're doing here is that formula causes us to get the inverse of our A here. So here's our A in matrix notation, and then this is the inverse, right? Because we want to take the inverse of that matrix here and move it to the other side so that we can isolate X and solve for it, right? So okay, so to do that, once we have the inverse of A here and we're ready to solve for X, which is here, which is our variables, which is what we're after, right? We just use this this equation right here, which is MMULT, and then you can see the formula that I'm putting in here. And again, this is going to be an array formula. So in the similar way, you'll just basically highlight there and hit, you know, Shift Control Enter to get that array formula. And again, as I flip through here, as I come through here, you'll notice as I flip through these different formulas, these different cells, as I select different cells, you can see that the formula in the formula bar right there is not updating. It doesn't change, which is not typical. That doesn't happen with normal equations. It's only doing that because this is an array equation. So as I flip through here, you can see it's not changing. Again, that's an array. So if you're not familiar with arrays, you may have to look at that a bit and study that a bit. So all right, so that solves your simultaneous equations, and you can see this other box over here. This is just basically taking these solutions here, 1, 2, and minus 1, 1, 2, minus 1, and just basically putting your variables that you're after, A, B, and C in this case, right next to it, just to make it easy. So you don't have to remember if you haven't looked at the sheet in a while and you're like, oh, where's my answer? Oh, is it X? Or, you know, it's real clear. It's in green. It's highlighted. You know, just to make it real easy in the future. If you need to solve simultaneous equations, you just come in and really simply plug in your inputs, and then look down here for your solutions. Your A, B, C solutions there, right? So, and again, we can change this up. You know, if we want to come over here and we say, okay, well, what if I got 5 here, and what if I call this, hat, whatever, and then you can come over here and you can see your solutions are going to update and say, okay, well, hat is now equal to 0.288, 228, and B is equal to 2.35. So you see how it just is going to update for you. But anyway, we'll put that back. Okay, guys, I'm going to include this a link to get this Excel file in the description if you would like it. Okay, thanks, bye.